Good evening and welcome to another edition of Red and White Army Productions. I'm Anthony Young. On my right, there's Paul Wilson. Down
Hello,
here,
everyone.
Bradley Young.
Hi, everyone.
And
all right?
to me right, we got Lee Charles.
Evening. How you doing, everyone?
Right, top of the agenda. Lee Charles is our Blackpool fan of the week. We've got hasn't blocked Paul Wilson. There's still time.
Yeah, there certainly is.
There's he's had more. Paul's had more blocks than our centre backs.
Lee, we got actually one of our centre backs is actually injured. That played for you.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that, Paul?
Who's injured?
Daniel Ballard.
Oh, Dan Ballard, blooming heck! We loved him at Blackpool. We had him on loan, and we've been trying to sign him loads of times. But of course, Sunderland signed him, and trying to sign Ellis Sims, and Sunderland signed him, and wanted Elliot Embleton, and Sunderland kept him. And yeah, we really like Sunderland. Just keep getting all the players that we want.
You can take Elliot Embleton back now because he's gone backwards instead of forwards since he left Hughes.
Well, he was great for us. You know what I mean? We really wanted to sign him, and I do believe he kind of wanted to come as well. Got on well with Critchley and everything, but it wasn't to be. And he's not done quite as well for you as he did for us. He was brilliant for us. Jane loved him.
I don't think he's had the opportunities, to be fair. He's more of our substitution at the moment because we've got every position covered.
Right. Oh, well.
Right. No
further... We'd have him. What we could do with him. Do with somebody like him anyway.
Gotta wait till January.
Yeah. Well, it was a weird one because she loaned him to us when you were in the same division, and we got promoted with him, which he must have been thinking, oh my God, why have we lent Blackpool? Elliot Embleton is, it's got him up into the Championship, which is quite bizarre. But anyway, at least you did it the year after yourself, so it wasn't too bad, was it? Really, you got up as well. So you've been down there for a few years. Nothing like Blackpool, of course. We've been down there for a long, long time.
Yeah, we've been down for a good 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, it took us 30 years.
Wasn't it Elliot Embleton who scored in your playoff final as well?
No, he didn't score in the final, no, but he played in the final. Yeah, he played really well.
Yeah.
Kenny Dougal got 2 goals in our playoff final. Yeah, left foot, right foot, 2 shots from outside the box. Obviously we went down out of the Championship, with the Oystons, and went down and was not going. So we actually unbelievably got back into the Championship in a reasonable space of time, really, probably about 5 or 6 years, probably, or until maybe 7 years. But the time before that, we were down in the lower 2 divisions for 30 years. Then I had to apply for re-election as well, back in the 70s sometime. So it was a really long time, and that's why really Blackpool are such a small club as to what they were in the heyday when Stanley Matthews and Morty and all that, and we won the FA Cup, and we are the team that I've got the record for being top of the Premier League or League One for the longest. If there's ever a quiz, we're the ones that we were there at the start of the World War II, and we were still there at the end of World War II. So we can't be beaten as our run at the top of League One. So there's a pub quiz. That's the answer to it. Blackpool have been top of the league the longest. Echo. Somebody needs to turn the mic off.
That was me.
He's messing about for some reason. Right. Studio performer there. Right.
So we are a small club, and we can't compete for money, for wages and stuff, because we were just League One, League Two for 30 years, and we had our chance to get the money. You know, we got the money. That's the whole thing. You know, we got into the Premier League. We won 96 million quid, and we never saw a penny of it. You know, I mean, not a penny of it with the Oysters. They just took the whole lot. And so, you know, we're still just a little club, still competing. You know, I'm not quite sure what our biggest signing is this year, but it won't even be £1 million. You know, we don't shop for anything more than that. And our owner is not a multi-billionaire. He runs a hedge fund. We don't really know how much he's worth, to be honest, but he's not like super mega loaded. So he's running it, you know, as you should. You know, keeping the books straight and not overspending and spending what he's got. And, you know, he's got a lot to do. He's got a training ground to build, and he's got a new stand to build. So, you know, there's money allocated for that. So, you know, they said the budget is not great this season for Blackpool. So, you know, but that's how it should be. There's so many clubs in major financial trouble, isn't there? And we're not one of them. So we don't do that sort of thing. So we can't even compete with League One clubs for some players. We've had a terrible summer on trying to get transfers in. We've lost out on quite a few targets to League One clubs, which is quite embarrassing when you're a Championship club. But there you go. That's the lot for a Blackpool fan. So we're favourites to get relegated. So if we do,
in the last few years, you've had a few managers, Lee. What is your worst manager, and what is your best manager you've seen come and go?
Well, I mean, for me, Ian Holloway, you know, is the best manager that I've seen really in my time. A lot of Blackpool fans will say Billy Eyre, and Billy Eyre was, you know, fantastic back in the day, but he was only in League One and League Two. You know, what Holloway did to get us in the Premier League was just like phenomenal. God, worst manager I would say was Colin Hendry, to be honest. Colin Hendry was really rank bad. He was like really bad. Simon Grayson this second time around. The first time around, Simon Grayson Mark 1 was tremendous for Blackpool. You know, I know you've had him at Sunderland. We have watched Sunderland Till I Die, and Jane. You know, we watched the second series first because Jane couldn't face just looking at Larry's face at all. So she couldn't face watching the program, so we didn't watch it. But in the end, she managed to get over that fear of seeing him, and we watched it. But he wasn't in it very long, was it? They soon potted him. So, but I think that, you know, spoiled him a bit this time with Sunderland. He wasn't quite the same manager as he used to be, and he came back to Blackpool, and he wasn't half the guy he was the first time round, and he wasn't very successful the second time around. But but Colin Hendry would rank as probably the worst. Some would say Nigel Worthington as well wasn't very good. The days of Nigel Worthington were bad. But yeah, Holloway for me is best.
Right, we'll go on to the agenda here of the thing. Sunderland 0, Preston 0 for us on Saturday. We was at the game.
Yeah.
0-0. What do you reckon your thoughts there, Brad?
Well, how did big players performed on Saturday? The only player who I thought performed was Patrick Roberts. I thought he was man of the match on Saturday for us. Done a few cutting insides, and one where he tried to skip past the player, but it didn't work. Didn't work out for him. But Patrick Roberts for me, he's sparking magic indeed for this Championship club. I'm absolutely loving him so far.
Same question for you, Paul. What do you think of the game, son?
To be honest, I thought we played all right on Saturday. I know, well, that the referee we had, disgrace. I didn't like the referee, mind.
Oh, he was terrible.
I thought we played all right. It's a shame we didn't have a striker, because if we had a striker, I think we would have took those chances. But yeah, I thought we played all right.
How about you, Acacia? Was you at the match? Did you?
No, I was at home because my mum was working from home on Saturday, so I watched it on TV. But like the lad said, we played all right. But I agree with Brad. Patrick Roberts definitely man of the match for me because he played quite well. So did Adrian Lees because he blocked that goal from Preston when they tried scoring. that was just fantastic from Adrielise on his home debut as well.
Yeah, I think that's on the agenda as well.
So, Lee, who did you have on Saturday? Can you tell us a bit about your game?
Well, first of all, I'm just hearing the fact there's no strikers. What's this? You've got no strikers at all? Did you have no strikers?
No.
Two of our strikers are out injured at the minute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's encouraging. That's the best news I've heard all day. So you've got no strikers, right? That's we had Norwich City second in the league, of course, and there was it's our first game back after the international break. Before the international break, we had gone off the boil. To be honest, we played Rotherham, probably the worst I've seen Blackpool play in years, and then we were a lot better at Millwall, and I thought we were the better side at Millwall, but we still lost to 2-1. So we were coming into this, on a run of two defeats. And of course, it's Norwich, and everybody's expecting Norwich to just smash us, really. And they didn't really. We unfortunately just gifted them a goal after we'd huffed and puffed for the first 25 minutes all over them, but just couldn't, get a goal. We almost had a one-on-one and fluffed that. And, it's just that typical, poor finishing, poor final balls, but it was all Blackpool. And then they just we just give them a goal and break away, one-on-one, score. And then they play quite well. Then really they sort of bossed it to the end of the first half, but second half it was just all Blackpool mainly going at them, and we just couldn't score. And the goalkeeper pulled off some great saves, and it just wouldn't go in. And they had this one song, Norwich. Unfortunately, they seem to have discovered a brand new song. I don't know why. It kind of started at this game, and it just went on and on and on and on and still on, and they never stopped singing it for the whole half. And honestly, I don't even know what the song is, but it's the worst song I've ever heard in my life. And it just went on and on. And then even when we were doing our review at the end, for that 20 minutes, on the end of my video, I actually do mention it and I go over and show them all still singing it after the game's over. And then 20 minutes later, they're still singing it in the ground. They just never stopped singing this song. I don't know, they got obsessed with it, but boy, it was just, you know what I mean? When you're losing and you just think, God, please score a goal, just shut them up. You know what I mean? Just please, God, score a goal. But we didn't. So, So, and then at the end of the video, and you'll know this because you probably get it yourself, but I'm walking just down the street, just walking by, and a little guy goes, how have we gone on today? We lost 1-0. Nobody ever comes up and asks you the score when you win. They only ever ask you the score when you lose. Have you ever noticed? As you're walking home, there's some random person wants to know how you've got on. And you've lost, yeah. So that was the end of my video. If you watch my video,
as we might as well say, we might dampen your spirits here because Patrick Roberts is in form. He scored 2 goals when both our strikers got taken off, and then we've got Jack Clark, who's a goal scorer as well on his day. And we got the maestro himself, Pritchard, who's the free kick taker. So,
he's really good, Pritchard.
Right. Well, we haven't got anybody. None of our strikers are any good. So at the moment, don't worry about us getting a goal. I can't see it happen at the moment. We're just pretty poor. Can't see where a goal's coming from.
But can I just say, for the Preston game, I don't know how Alex Pritchard missed that to get us 1-0 up. I don't know how he put that wide.
I don't know either. I thought it was in.
I can't quite get over Preston. Obviously the knobbers, the knob enders as we call them. They've scored three goals so far the whole season. 3 goals they've scored.
3 goals.
They've only scored 3 goals. Yeah. So they've had lots and lots of 0-0 draws. So they're above us on the fact they keep drawing 0-0. But it must be just honestly to be a knob ender at the moment must be just so painful. It must really be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, can you imagine that? Just 11 games, 3 goals. God, it's so painful, isn't it? So,
I have subscribed back to you, Lee. Just letting you know I've subscribed back.
Oh, thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
All of a sudden, we've got some information, Lee. We found you've got a striker coming in tomorrow. You've got me. Is that all right?
Oh yeah, well you probably do. You probably do a good job. You probably do a good job. You couldn't do any worse. Eh?
Paul's playing left back in the changing room.
Well, I've got nail surgery tomorrow. Oh, go on.
But can I just say, Liam Bridcut though to Blackpool? Seriously?
Is he likely to
desperate.
feature tomorrow, Lee, by any chance?
He didn't feature on Saturday. Well, I don't know much about him, to be honest. He's played under Appleton before. He's been at Lincoln, hasn't he, with Appleton, so he knows him. I don't know if he's any good or not. Is he? I don't know anything about him. Don't know if wouldn't know him. Is he bad?
He was quite bad. He was quite bad for us.
Put it this way, Paul makes him look good, and that's saying something.
I did that.
Well, he'll fit in perfectly then at the moment at Blackpool if he's that bad. No, we're just we're all on a bit of a downer at Blackpool at the moment because we lost Critchley, and he was just, we just loved him. Can't quite believe, and he'd signed a 4.5-year contract at the start of the year, an extension to his contract. So 4.5 years he had left and we'd all bought into the fact that he was going. They're doing all the brand new, training ground. We've been banging on about a new training ground since 1953. With they're still training where Matthews used to train, and it's a windy old thing right by the sand hills near the airport. It's terrible in the winter, so they're having all these new plans have been passed, and they're supposed to be starting on this new training ground and stuff. So of course Critch was like under 23 coach at Liverpool, and we're expecting all that sort of that kind of academy building, and he's left us, so we're a bit we're a bit stunned really, and it's just not the fans. For 6, the fans not happy, and everything was lovely. Everything was really, really lovely, and it's not.
So who's your manager now? It's
Russell Martin. No, not Russell Martin. What do you call him?
Michael
Appleton.
Yeah, Michael Appleton from Lincoln.
Ex-Lincoln manager.
Yeah, he was already. He's already been manager at Blackpool. He came after Holloway left. He came in and. He rode in on a big charger, and he rode straight out again. 10 games later, went to Blackburn Rovers, just left us. He wasn't given anything that was promised by the Oystons, and he just left. And a lot of the fans couldn't believe it when he just, all the names that were being bandied around that fans wanted, nobody had, nothing was mentioned of Michael Appleton, and I'm quite surprised, really, that they actually went with him, because Simon Sadler, who owns Blackpool, is a big Blackpool fan, so he will have known that it wouldn't be a popular decision. And I quite like him. He's all right. I've got nothing against him. I think he's all right. His heart's in the right place. He said when he came that the last time he came to Blackpool, it was the right club at the wrong time, and this time it's the right club at the right time. So hopefully he can turn things around. But at the moment, it's just looking a bit dodgy.
I think it was 2012, 2013 he came to use, didn't he? Somewhere around about that time.
He did, yeah. Yes. Yeah, Holloway, it's just... I'm going to start having PTSD here talking about this. Holloway, got us in the Premier League. Then we had the next season. We should have got promoted, but we didn't quite make it, and we ended up in the playoffs again. And we faced West Ham, and we battered them in the final and lost. And then the following season, we were like top of the league. We were flying. We just beat Leeds United 5-0. We beat Middlesbrough 6-0. The Middlesbrough manager had said that whoever finishes second to Blackpool is will get promoted into Premier League, and then they wouldn't. I think it's rumoured that he wanted DJ Campbell back. He just wanted DJ Campbell to just get us back up again, and the Oystons wouldn't sanction it, and they fell out over it, and he left us, went to Crystal Palace and took Crystal Palace up. And not only that, he took Kevin Phillips with him on loan from Blackpool to Crystal Palace, who scored the penalty that got Crystal Palace into the Premier League. so it was a bad year. And then of course when he left, we got Michael Appleton in, and he didn't last
got
very long.
Kevin Phillips for us Sunderland though, so he never done it to us.
Well, we hated Kevin Phillips because he would always score against Blackpool. You know, he was, and the minute the name Kevin Phillips is coming on, you think, oh Jesus, he's going to score. You know what I mean? Because he just always would against Blackpool. So when we had him, it was great to have him. And the problem with the playoff final was that, as you know, Kevin Phillips was he was a super sub, wasn't he? That's what he was. That was him. Bring him on as a sub, he would score. But if you didn't bring him on as a sub, play him in a game, he wasn't. I don't know why he was never effective. But bring him on for the last 20 minutes, and you could just see the other side panicking over it, and he would just get a goal. And unfortunately, just before the playoff final, Gary Taylor Fletcher got injured. And he had to start. We had to start with Kevin Phillips, and he didn't score. If we'd have just had him to bring on at Wembley, we would have got up that season before when we lost against West Ham. But well, it's sliding doors, and that's life for you. So, but in a way, if we had got back into the Premier League, we may still have the Oystons and. If we had still had the Oystons, you know what I mean? It's probably better that we didn't get in the Premier League. In fact, a lot of Blackpool fans were quite prepared to just go non-league, because it seemed like they were taking us into non-league. We're even, thinking of setting up our own Blackpool Football Club and starting again because we just didn't care anymore. You know what I mean? They just, they ripped everything out of the club. They ripped... they were like taking people to court over the fact that people were calling them thieves. They were thieves all the money, but they weren't just like thieves of money. They were thieves of your dream, of like the dream of being a football fan, because you always would, dream, say, think, God, this year, this is going to be the year, or maybe this year we'll draw, Man United in the FA Cup and we'll get like £1 million and that'll buy this and buy that. You know what I mean? Those sort of dreams you have. Well, we got all that and more. We got £96 million. Blackpool wouldn't have earned £96 million in the next 96,000 years. And the fact we got all that money, it was just unbelievable. And then the fact that they didn't do anything at all with it just told you that there was just no, it didn't matter what we did. It didn't matter if we drew. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if we went all the way to the FA Cup final and won it. They would never spend a penny on this club, and they would always just take the money out. And there was just nothing. There's nothing left for you to kind of cheer on or support. It was just soul destroying. And now, at least, whatever happens really, to be honest, whether we get relegated or whether we get promoted or whether we stay in the league, we've got a club to support, and I can't really tell you what like 5 years of not going to football is like. It's just so bad. I mean, my little one was 8 when the boycott came, and when he was 8, he was talking to me about Bloomfield Bear still, at the match. So he'd be like saying, where does he eat and how does he tie his shoes and where does he live and and all this sort of stuff, because he was fascinated with this, like, this mascot coming around. He was 8 years old. When I come back from the boycott years, he was like 14 or he was nearly 14, and he'd been at Burnley Academy and other academies, and he was all football. He was telling me who should be here and whether and I'm thinking, bloody hell, he's not talking about Bloomfield Bear anymore. And that was it. One game was 8 years old, the next one was 14, and you can't get those years back. You just can't get them back. No way. You just you miss it with your kids, and it was sad, really sad.
So does he still play football now then, Lee?
He still plays football. He never made it as he's not made it from the academies. He just plays. Well, he's 17 now, so he just plays under 18 levels, like Sunday League football. But he still plays. Yeah, he's still a good. He's still a good player. Just not quite. He just didn't quite have the. I don't know, the sort of the courage I think sometimes you need to be a really good footballer. You've got to be really brave. You've got to really like risk your life sometimes. You know what I mean? It is quite a tough game, isn't it? And say again.
Sorry, we're going to get back onto the Preston game, right?
Yes.
Sorry, we've got loads to get through. Would you class it as a board draw or a point game for us?
Point gain.
Paul?
Point gain for me, yeah, Tony.
Me as well.
Me as well.
Even though that Preston are not playing up to expectations?
Oh, but they've just been like terrible. Like you guys have said, obviously they've like won 3 games so far. Because obviously Paul knows I've told him about this. Because they lost 2-0 against the Blades. And then they've just been terrible ever since.
Well, they could have 4 goals if it wasn't for that Alessi's clearance. It was really, really good.
Not saved by Anthony Patterson as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant.
That's a very good save.
Arsenal want to sign him next season.
Keep hands off.
By the way, I'm a Sunderland fan. I'm a Sunderland fan because I take Bradley to all the matches, but Arsenal is my team. I'm actually from Highbury, so.
Right. Well, they're doing really well. Aren't they? Arsenal at the moment, top of the league. You must be pretty happy with that then.
I'm over the moon. Like Bradley keeps trying winding me up, Sam. He's getting the Premier League, and I'm going right. Let's go on to the Blackburn game. Right. Sun versus Blackpool. Right. We're going to get onto this. Lee, what do you reckon your score's going to be there, mate?
I have no idea, mate, honestly.
So I'm taking offence if you say a 3-0 loss.
Well, the problem is for me is that we're actually going corporate tomorrow because we're invited by a company called Fritidsklade. Have you heard of them? Fritidsklade. They're Sunderland fans. They have a box at Sunderland. They do like terrace wear stuff. Have you heard of them? Fritidsklade.
Yeah.
Rings a bell.
And they supplied Jane with a few items of clothing to promote them over the years. They keep giving her very unlucky hats, which she always loves, but nobody wants her to wear them anymore because they always lose when she wears them. She's put badges on this latest one to try and get rid of the curse of the bad luck of that Fritidsklade hats. So we're in with them, and I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of being in with, Sunderland fans, or Derby fans or whatever fans. I don't enjoy it quite as much as I do with being in with my own fans, being as biased as I can possibly be and moaning about the ref and all the rest of the stuff that, is a typical football thing. When you're in a box with Sunderland, you can't, you just can't be saying what you normally say. You've got to watch the P's and Q's. It's not quite as enjoyable as it is. And I like to be in with all the noise and stuff, so it's nice. It's nice, but I'm never very lucky neither when I'm in with when I'm in with the opposition fans. We went corporate on the last game at home last season because we were guests of a Blackpool company, and right next to us we were in the sponsors lounge, not in a box but on this big balcony. I was Derby fans, and we lost 2-0, and I had a horrible day. So probably we're going to lose, but I've got to just hope we win. So I can't predict us to lose because we need to win. We've lost 3 on the bounce. We can't lose 4 on the bounce. So we need to win. So I'm going for a 2-1 win to Blackpool. We have to win.
Can I just ask, have you still got Jerry Yates at Blackpool?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. He doesn't score, but we've got him.
I think he's going to be at Fricks. Before he came to it, Blackpool, he was brilliant at Rotherham.
Yeah, no, he was brilliant for us in League One. To get us out, he was amazing. He got 20 odd goals. Some of his goals were awesome, but since he's been in the Championship, he just can't buy a goal. He just cannot buy a goal, and he's 100%. So we all love him. Everybody loves him because he's just he's one of them players that we all love him, don't we? A player that just like bleeds for every minute that he's on the pitch. You love those kind of players, don't you? And that's what he is. He gives it 110%. He's all effort, never stops running, chase anything down, but he just can't score. He just simply cannot score. He needs it to go in off the backside of somebody or something. He needs a wicked deflection in or something. He just needs some luck to get some goals. It's a shame.
Well, look at that loan spell what he had at Swindon Town 2019-2020 season. He's had 25 appearances and scored 12 goals.
I know.
Look at that.
I know. So this is the problem. He can do it at a lower level, but he's not doing it at the Championship. And all the things you're telling me, and not in champ. He scored goals. Yes, he has. I agree, but not in the championship. And it's just for some unknown reason. It's just I just think it's the same with any striker. It's all about confidence, isn't it? With strikers, if they're not scoring, they're not confident, and it's just that that little thing where they take the extra touch or they think about it. And that's how it is. When they're on fire, everything's going in, and they can hit one from 25 yards out and it takes a massive deflection off a divot off the floor or something, or the goalkeeper spills it, whatever. But when you're not on form, you're not on form, and it's kind of hung over from last season because he had a pretty tough season last season. He didn't score many, and so it plays on his mind. But Critch kept dropping him all the time. But that was one of the problems with Critch. One of the things we didn't like about Critch was if ever a striker scored a second goal, he'd take him off. He wouldn't. He never let any striker get a hat trick ever. So what was the incentive for any striker to get that second goal? You know what I mean? Because he'd know he'd be taken off the minute he scored it. So it was crazy, really. It was one thing. It was one of the things I didn't like about Critch, why he did that.
Because when the season started, you lot played. Go on, Tony. Go on.
When the season started,
let you finish.
So, when the season started, you lot were brilliant against QPR because I watched it on TV.
Yeah, we were. Honestly, we were fantastic. And the only problem with that game was that Charlie Patino and Luis Fiorini, who suddenly Blackpool, it all clicked on that night. The whole team seemed to suddenly click into place, and they both got injured, didn't they? Both of them, Fiorini and Patino, both went off in the first half. And second half, we was a bit more backs against the walls, and it just ruined everything. And of course, we had Josh Bowler then as well, and we've lost him, haven't we? So he's really hard to replace. He was phenomenal. He was just the best player. I mean, Jane would say that she's waited 30 years to see a player like Josh Bowler at Blackpool. He was phenomenal. You just can't replace him. He was unbelievable. One of the best players I've ever seen in a tangerine shirt, really. And unfortunately, for some unknown reason, Forest bought him on the last day of the season and didn't even want him. They've already bought 20. They bought Forest 26 new players. They had to even come in and get a bowler and send him out to bloody Greece. So this country, the championship's lost a star of a player. You won't get to see him how good he was. We can't see him, and he's playing in bloody Greece for Olympiacos.
How many fans are you bringing tomorrow night, Glenn?
I don't know. Normally we'd bring, if it had been last season, we'd have been probably bringing somewhere near 2,000. But we're not. We're not in a positive. Blackpool fans are not in a great frame of mind at the moment. They're not happy. There's a lot of discontent, but I imagine we'll be there with maybe 1,000. I don't know, but it won't be as much as it would have been if and it'd been better if we'd have been up near the top. But we're not. We're down near the bottom, and it's all a bit doom and gloom at the Seaside at the moment. So I doubt we'll bring a lot. As much as we would have done, but it's still a great ground to go to. I've never been to the Stadium of Light. I've never been, so it's my first time. So I'm quite looking forward to it. And the only good thing about it is about being in a box actually is the fact we don't have to climb those bloody stairs. That's stairs. There's actually something on it, innit? This does it say like this is where Chris Waddle? There's things on the stairs going up and they tell you like how high the stairs are. There's all different things on it. This is how high Waddle put the ball over the net and for the penalty and all this sort of thing. It does go, it's up and up and up and up. So I don't have that.
Yeah, there's all different things, yeah.
But we can't get the pie that Jane really liked. Something with cumin seeds on it. Something, I don't know what she had last time. She loved it. The pie there. Oh. Very impressed with the pies at Sunderland. It's in her blog actually, when she went there, because she went for the one, which game was it? It was the season before. Yeah, it was a season of the lockdown season. We actually played you and you were down to 10 men, I think. You remember? I don't know if you remember that game, but
yeah, I remember that.
It was 1-1 and you went down to 10 men with about 15 minutes to go and we just couldn't get a winner. But
I think I remember that one. Who got sent off for us? I'm trying to think.
I can't remember. It's a few years ago. But you were just, it was actually, we were about to play you. You were the game that got cancelled. You know, when lockdown came and they stopped us going to matches, it was the Sunderland game. So that was a real disappointment for me as a YouTuber, because at that time I'd only got, I don't know, maybe 1,000. I may not have even had 1,000 subscribers then. So it was a big, massive match for me. You know, it was a big game, big club coming, and it just blew it. You know, and then lockdown came. But actually, you know, looking back on lockdown, it was quite good because we did watch-alongs, which were easier than match day vlogs, if I'm being honest.
George Dobson, that was the one who got turned off. That was the one.
George Dobson.
Yeah, George Dobson. Yeah, he was the one who got turned off.
George, man.
Yeah. And what do you call him? Score for years, I'm trying to think. Was it Verti Fick? Someone, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Matty Virtue. Yeah, Matty Virtue.
Yeah. Kind of pronounce his name.
He scored from like just outside the box, didn't he? A bit of a. But we missed a sitter. I think it hit Nangele on the line or something, didn't it? I think it was going in, and he got in the way of it on the line and stopped it going in, our own player. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it was a nightmare. But Jane, I didn't used to go to away games. It was Jane's thing that always, you know, she'd always go to every game. Jane, every game. Jane's my partner, by the way, so and she would go to every single game. For 14 years, she never missed any game, and that's including like going to Latvia for pre-season friendlies in Latvia. Yeah, when Bellicom was here, she even went to them. She went to everything. But I would just listen to that away games on the radio mainly. You know, just listen to on the radio and just get my season ticket, and that's how I always was. I never really went to away games, so it's been quite interesting. I had been to, you know, the odd one or two, you know, probably a season, but I didn't go to like every one like we're having to do now. So last season we did every game last season. We did all the cup games, the pre-season friendlies, everything. We went to every game last season. It was a lot. It was a tough one, you know. And I did a vlog on every single one, and it was bloody hard, I tell you. And the football tourist guide that we do as well. So, you know, that's so we are doing a football tourist guide tomorrow. We will be doing a football tourist guide to Sunderland, so you can look out for it when I get it up. I'm getting a bit backlogged with it because I've been pretty busy with video work, but yeah, we've got a few. I've got York to do because we played Leeds pre-season. That's halfway done, but not quite finished. I've got Huddersfield to do, and then obviously I'll have you to do. So we're doing a few things tomorrow. We're doing what are we doing tomorrow? She's got quite a full day. We've got the pier to go to. I think we're going to the pier. That's one of the things. There's quite. Oh, we're going to the museum.
Oh yeah, the fans museum, I guess.
Yeah, there's like a Blackpool.
Yeah.
No, there's a museum of, what is it? The one where they've got Blackpool trams in it. I don't know which one it is, but we're going there anyway because there's a Blackpool tram in it as well. So
yeah,
which museum that is? But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. So I've never been to Sunderland, so it'll be an experience for me. We're setting off at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh,
and we're staying over. We're staying over. Yeah, no, I gotta get to. Yeah, you're keeping me up. Yeah, no,
yeah, it'll be. Yeah, it'll be my second time coming to Blackpool because I'm coming for the game, which is New Year's Day, I think it is.
New Year's Day.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a big. Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? I hope the weather's all right for you. Then it's a shame, really. Most people want to come to Blackpool when the illuminations are on and that, but. If it's New Year, there will be some lights on the front and stuff, and there'll be the pants.
I remember on New Year's Day. Go on.
We've had Lee's predictions, right? I've got to get through some of this because we've got loads to get through still. Predictions. We've had Lee's predictions. How about our fans' predictions? We'll go with Acacia first.
2-0 Sunderland.
Right, that's upset. You see Lee's face; he's not happy with you. So
I would expect. I'm not expecting you to predict Blackpool to win. Not where we are and where you are. So no, I'm quite prepared for you all to predict a win.
Be careful, because you blockers. If we take our chances, we're going to win 3-0.
Brad, what do you fancy?
You know what? I'll be nice to them. I'm going to say 2-1 us. I'm going to be nice.
You know, I'm going to even be nicer, right? Because we can't score at the moment. We've got no strikers. I'm going to say 4-0 us. That's my. That is mine. 4-0. Like I keep saying it.
Christmas card list. Let me just sort out my Christmas card list. That's you off. That's you off the Christmas card list.
That's us off the list.
They usually only sends me tangerines as your colour.
Because I think it'll be Patrick Roberts will get one, Jack Clark, Juice and Bennett will get one, and hopefully Abdullah Bar will get one.
That's 4. See.
I mean, well, hopefully they'll probably get one each, but we'll have to wait and see.
Right. I always get the away team, right? This is me a little bit of fun here, Lee.
Go on.
Right?
Yeah.
We do this every person that comes on.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Their own chant. They've got to give us a chant when they're at the ground. Everybody likes it. But we give Paul the opportunity to see if he can beat Shearsey, but for that we can see if we can block him or not. If he's as good as you.
It's like Dave Grave versus all the fans. That's all it's like. But it's Paul.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you got to go into the Wheatsheaf pub as well because we got an official person. He's been the oldest raver of all times. 1980, is it, Brad? Dave DeRave.
1990.
Well, remember the Mac and Mover. Remember the Mac and Mover.
Mac and Mover, that's the one who dug it. Dave Grave dug it. He done that.
Yeah, the Mac and Mover and the Geordie Dancer. I remember them being on the Saturday fantasy football thing, didn't they?
So
they had
we need a song off you, Lee.
A song off me? Oh my God! You don't want a song off me, surely to go. I'll just give you. I'll just do something easy. We just Seasiders, Seasiders. There you go.
Right, Paul. That's a hard one to beat. You know. You said you didn't want to get blocked. Give your best. Your best chance.
I'll just look at the comments now because we've got comments in the chat.
Oh, you're reading the comments in the chat. All right. He's bottled it.
We're getting comments as well.
Right. Jeff Hallcroft says his Brad's dad getting bigger as the room getting smaller. I don't know what that is, guys. Yeah, his Brad's dad getting bigger.
I've lost 2 stone in weight in 4 weeks, so I think Brad's put me on small focus.
What did Lee think of Phil Brown, says Jeff? Oh, we like Phil Brown's. Suntan we used to call Phil Brown. Suntan. Used to play for Blackpool. Yeah, we loved him. We loved him while he played for Blackpool. Just answering Jeff there.
So how are you going, Paul? What's your chant? Come on.
Well, since he's injured at the moment.
I knew you were going to say it.
Is the best on earth. The Lord Ness dropper. Just what we need. He'll take Son into the Premier League.
Love it.
Wow.
Paul Wilson wins that one.
Linda Carlisle, yeah.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. It's got to go on the majority. Acacia, who won that?
I think Acacia was listening.
You've got to give it Belinda Carlisle. Just
go give it Paul Wilson. Come on.
Obviously, Paul.
1 minute. I'm going to make it a draw, and they've got to do a dance off. No.
I think Acacia was
There he is. Get ready.
There we are.
Lee Charles, look at him go. Oh,
actually, what was Sims like for you, Lee?
Oh yeah, Ellis Sims used to play for you.
Unbelievable for us. Unbelievable. We've wanted to sign him so many times, and I think we put in the biggest offer we've ever put in for a player, and you once again took another one of the players that we were after. So we're not happy about it at all here, to be honest. We loved Ellis Sims. The only sad thing for Alex Sims when he was here was that he got injured taking a penalty in the warm up before the playoff final. He didn't get to play in the playoff final, and he scored just. He was unbelievable at Oxford in the semi-final. At Oxford, he was just unbelievable. The goals he scored. If you ever get to see him, were just incredible, just unbelievable stuff he did against.
He's out.
We loved him, absolutely loved him, and I think he started. He's got injured, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's injured, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, our second striker, Ross Stewart, who got injured first, I think, won't be back until the World Cup. After the World Cup,
what's he injured with, Sims? What's he done?
Because apparently I was away at Reading and he went down injured under his big toe.
Yeah, it's fractured. It's a fracture in his toe.
Always unlucky, and he is unlucky. That's I mean, at least that's one he'll come back from. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. But your big toe's quite important, isn't it? It's quite but a lot get that sort of metatarsal thing, don't they?
The nail actually tried to play through it as well.
Yeah,
did he try and play through it? You can't play through a broken toe; it's just too painful. But it will heal. You know, it will heal. You know. Yeah. My son broke his toe. Playing. He went in on a tackle and he broke his toe. Somebody went in on him, and yeah, he's all right now.
Right, we've done the score prediction.
X Factor, eat your heart out, says Jeff there.
Well, we've got no red crosses, so I can't give him. I've heard Blackpool scared of crosses. So.
There you go.
It was what?
Well, that's where it comes from.
Did you like that? Yeah. Superb. Got loads here of those.
Oh, boy.
In fact, I should have done the drum roll before I did mine, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
We've got laughter. Got it all here. It's a Rodecaster Pro.
Have you got that one? Oldie bastard.
Body. And what way Philly goes? He goes, Specky.
Jeff's going for 4-1. Jeff's going
for 4-1 for him.
4-1.
Yeah.
Lauren Kenny says she loved Ian Holloway. Yeah, he was.
Ian Holloway.
He was so good.
He actually played for a job once, actually.
Did he? He was a great manager for Blackpool. He just fitted. He just fitted Blackpool really well. You know what I mean? He was like the perfect sort of fit for us. He was, he was daft, wasn't he? Daft as a brush, like Blackpool is really. It's how we are. Town of we're a fun town, and he was a fun manager, and he just everything. I don't know about him. He just worked, and it was a shame really that the Oystons let him down. But he's defended the Oystons on many occasions, and there's a lot of Blackpool fans don't like him now because he's come out and said that Carl Oyston was great, and we hate Carl Oyston. So anybody sticks up for the Oystons, they instantly we just owned him. So I still like him, I still love him, but lots of Blackpool fans don't.
We've only got a few minutes left, guys. Right, this is what I'm going to say to Lee here. Whereabouts will you be finishing the league this season if it was on a score, on a predictor?
Well, we were hoping to finish higher than we did last season. We blew it last season because to us the most important thing is to finish above the knob enders. And with 2 games to go, we went above them. And then we only had Derby, who were relegated, and Peterborough left to play. That was it. We had Derby at home, Peterborough away, and they had Middlesbrough, who were going for the playoffs on the last game of the season. So we had to finish above Preston, and we lost the last 2 games. So we finished below them. They beat Middlesbrough on the last game of the season. And much to our horror. And so really anything above the knobbers is always good for us. So even if they finish bottom and we finish second bottom, that would still be an achievement. But we just, most Blackpool fans at this moment would just take, just survival at the moment, because we're not in a good head place at the moment as a club. We're fearing the worst, so we're fearing the drop. So if we can avoid the drop, that'll be a bonus this season.
I'm going to ask Lee this. In your opinion, Lee, where do you think Sunderland will finish this season?
I think you'll finish
Good
mid-table.
question,
To be honest, mid-table. There's too many. It's too hard. This, you're just competing against these clubs that have got like ridiculous squads and stuff. Like Norwich and Sheffield United. And another one. Burnley. They've got good squads. They have. I don't like Burnley either, but they have got. They've got a good squad. You've got Watford, another good team. There's just big clubs in this division, and you've got yourself up. I think for you've got to make sure that you have a good season and build on that for next season and build your squad. And I'm sure you'll get back in the Premier League and eventually. I can't see you going back now down into League One. I think you've had a dose of that, and I think you've got like a wealthy enough owners now, haven't you? But you've still got that guy in. He's still involved in it. The guy, can't think of his name.
Stuart Donald.
Yeah, you don't like it.
He's bit.
He's just in the background.
Yeah, he is.
He's just in the background pretty much. Yeah.
Billionaire or whatever, his son of a billionaire, sheik or something. I don't know, whatever you've got. Anyway, you've got something, so it should be okay. But... you think it should be okay now. I think. I think I was talking to quite a few Sunderland fans when I was doing my football. Show on a Monday, the Football Vloggers podcast, and they were really convinced that you were going to get in the playoffs. So I think there's a feeling in Sunderland that you could make the playoffs. Is that where you would want to be, or are you just happy to stay
I'll
up this
be happy.
season?
I'll be happy mid-table.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Mid-table as well.
I like the Championship. I like it. I didn't enjoy the Premier League. If I'm, I like the money and everything, and being on TV is fantastic. But there's a lot. It's a pain in the arse. They're always changing your days that you're playing, aren't they? You don't play on I like to play football at Saturday on 3:00, and I like to play it on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. 7:15 or 7:30, that kind of thing. I don't like playing on like a Friday night or a Monday night. It's just, I don't know. It always just feels odd and wrong. A Sunday lunchtime at 1 or. Lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. It just doesn't sit well with me.
12 and half, 5 Saturday
yeah,
evenings.
And you don't play as many games. Obviously, there's not as many games, and we found the referees were just so biased towards United, and I don't know what it's like now with VAR, but back when we were in the Premier League. They did a table actually on where Blackpool would have finished if we'd have got the proper decisions, which we should have had. And, we'd have finished 8th because they just took so many points off us from, penalties we should have had to offside goals that got disallowed to offside goals that were allowed to just, it just went on and on and on. Just the results that, the things they did to us. And even when we played Villa and Holloway, changed the team, he made 10 changes and they fined us for making all these changes, but we battered Aston Villa. We lost with the last kick of the game, but we were all over him. And the thing was, like most of those players that he actually put in for the Villa game actually became the team anyway. You know what I mean? We didn't have any, there was no superstars in the Blackpool team. You couldn't say that, one player, was better than the other. Like Matty Phillips came on in the Villa game, and he was. We sold him for the most money we've ever sold a player. Well, no, Charlie Adam went for the most, but he went for 5 million on Matty Phillips, and nobody heard of him, but nobody heard of any of them. Nobody heard of Charlie Adam, really. There wasn't one single household name in the Blackpool team. So how they could say that, Holloway was saying he had a squad of 25 and he should be able to pick from his squad of 25. What's the point of having a squad of 25? You can't play him. And so we got fined and he went down. It was all that. It was just all wrong. So wrong.
Actually, hang on.
Well, I think we're going to figure it.
Is there any players we should watch out for tomorrow?
Yeah, all of them. All of them.
Especially Jerry Yates still.
Jerry Yates, you should always watch out for him. I quite like this Theo Corbinu, who we've got on loan from.
Oh God, no, not him. Oh.
He scored against us as well. Is that the one from Arsenal?
No, from Sheffield Wednesday as well.
Wednesday.
Wolves. Who got
Wolves, yeah.
Wolves. We've got this new lad we just bought. we actually got on the last day of the transfer window, who played for his first game on Saturday and looked quite good. He's come from Leicester. We've got that Jan Paveda from Leeds, who's supposed to be a replacement for Bowler, but he's only a young kid, but he's quite exciting.
You've got Rhys Williams as well, haven't you, from Liverpool on loan? But he's not featuring.
Yeah, we're not too keen on him at the moment, really. I think the fact he's a Preston North End fan didn't go down very well. Didn't go down very well. A massive Preston North End fan, so the fans were really laying into him on Twitter and everything. I don't think he's really played. I think it might have destroyed him a little bit. So all that news coming out. So I don't know, but he's been a bit iffy. So he got dropped. I don't know. I don't think he'll be playing, to be honest. I don't know. Apart from that, Marvin Epiteta's, great. As a centre back, he's great. Again, Lavery can be dangerous, but we don't know. We don't know which team he's going to play. I've no idea what he's going to do, because without Bowler, we just at the moment we don't quite know who's going to play.
Right, guys, I think we should wrap it up now. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
all right. Thanks for having me on.
Again,
no worries.
Red and White Army podcast. We're going to call it a night. We've got goodbye from Paul Wilson.
See you later. Away the lads.
Goodbye from Lee Charles.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, from Lee.
See you later. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Please subscribe to his channel as well, guys. Maybe
subscribe to this channel as well. It's obviously you're doing a good job.
Because there's a thing.
Thank you.
You've been on our show.
Yeah. It's all downhill from here, lads. I tell you, reach the pinnacle.
Would you come on again, Lee? If
no.
Possibility.
No.
After we predicted bloody Sunderland to win, get stuff off. Coming on here, 4-0. I had 4-0, 2-0. Jeez.
I'm an optimist. I'm not a pessimist.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Good night from me, Tony Young, and have a good evening, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
May the best team win. May the best team win.
See you later.